right. So, here we go. So, you. By the way, you broke the news yesterday, Yo-Yo.
Yes.
Live on our show. Yo-Yo, breaking. We are a news show, Yo-Yo.
We are a news show.
We are. Yo-Yo, breaking the immigration news yesterday that as I was announcing that President Biden is going to
end Title
42 to allow people who are on the Mexican side of the border to come to the United States, apply for asylum, be allowed in if they pass a credible fear interview, and then go see an immigration judge shortly thereafter for an asylum hearing. If they pass, they're granted. If they're denied, then obviously they would get sent home and deported. And for the last 3+ years since, is it 3+ years with COVID? 2.5 years.
Yep.
Since COVID started with that rotten pumpkin president we used to have.
Right.
And he used the COVID pandemic to prevent anyone from applying for asylum on the southern border. And what did I say, Yo-Yo, before? And Yo-Yo, by the way, he said yesterday, it looks like some Republican states where there's a majority of Republican voters and a Republican governor and Republican state attorney are going to sue the Biden administration so they can continue Title 42.
Right.
And I said what? I said, well, it all depends on whether Biden followed the rules or not.
Right.
If we've learned anything on Bradshaw Live, all these executive orders are lawful as long as you follow the rules.
Right.
If you don't follow the rules, that's when it becomes unlawful and gets overturned. It's the same thing over and over and over. So what do I got in my cards, Yo-Yo?
All right, what happened?
It says 3 Republican-led states are suing the Biden administration to stop it from ending the Trump-era pandemic restrictions that effectively block migrants from entering the United States and applying for asylum. The plaintiffs in all 3 cases, and I'm quoting from their news release, claims the Biden administration's plans to roll back the policy are arbitrary and capricious because the government did not follow the rules required to make the change, right from their press release.
Wow.
What'd I tell you?
So they didn't follow?
I don't know. That's what they claim.
Oh, that's what they claim.
I am not an executive order
I would be surprised if he made that same mistake.
I am not an executive order expert. But I would think that if you're going to be the president, you better get somebody in there to be your right-hand man or woman who knows how to make an executive order and follow the rules.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody out there that knows how to do it. As we discussed yesterday, Biden was planning on increasing immigration officers at the border. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, was going to, among other measures, prepare temporary facilities to house individuals who are applying for asylum, deploying hundreds of immigration officers to assist in the interviews, and leveraging other partnerships with other federal agencies. And it has set up a Southwest Border Coordination Center at its headquarters to coordinate across multiple agencies. The way the Republicans make it out is if literally there's a gate, Biden opened the gate and says, welcome, come on in.
Right.
It's kind of not how it works. Okay? How it works is you have to go to a border crossing. You have to apply, make an affirmative application for asylum, pass a credible asylum interview, that you are telling a credible story and that there is, your story reaches the level of somebody who is part of a group that is being persecuted because of race, religion, political identity, or whatever it may be, sexual orientation. And then if you pass that credible fear interview, then you get to see an immigration judge where there's an actual trial to determine whether or not you can apply for asylum. So it's not a situation where, here we open up a gate and people are just flooding in. But that's what you would see on Fox News. Even last week, the Department of Homeland Security began offering COVID-19 vaccines to migrants encountered at the U.S.-Mexico border, and it's expected to grow that program over the next few weeks and months. But I would bet you Title 42 is going to be in place at least for the next few months until the case winds its way up to the Supreme Court, who will make a determination whether or not Biden followed the rules or not.
Okay.
That would be my guess. We'll see. So far, there has been no stay of the executive order. Stay means halting the change in the program. But we'll see what a judge has to say.
All right.
Yo-Yo breaking the news yesterday.
Yeah, it feels good, guys.
Feels good to break that news, right?
I mean, that's what I'm here for, guys.
All right. Yo-Yo, our beat reporter here at Bradshaw Live. And after 2 years in court, by the way, for those who have had family or friends picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement since 2017, you will know one thing. When you get picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in New York City, the New York area, okay, you are not getting bail. Every lawyer knows that, okay? As a matter of fact, they just came out with statistics. Only 4% of people who were picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement got bail from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which means 96 out of 100 people arrested by immigration sits in jail. Every immigration lawyer knows that in New York City. That doesn't mean they don't get out. What that means is when you get arrested by immigration, there's an immigration ICE officer who's assigned to your case who has to make a determination whether or not you're entitled to bail. Bail is supposed to be based on, do you have potential relief from removal? Mm-hmm. Do you have family ties in the United States? Do you pose a threat to security in the local area? And it doesn't matter what the person was arrested for by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that nobody got bail. And then an immigration lawyer would have to be hired, wait for a bail redetermination hearing before an immigration judge, where an immigration judge would issue bail. Those bail redetermination hearings were taking months and months and months. So sometimes people would sit in jail for 2, 3, 4 months before they got a bail hearing. Well, it turns out that according to the New York Civil Liberties Union and the Bronx Defender's Office, which is a low-cost or free legal service for criminal people who are detained for local criminal crimes, said that they sued ICE because they had a secretive, illegal practice of blocking the release of all New York area immigrants, no matter what was presented to them.
Whoa.
They said federal law requires ICE officers, this is what I said, to make individualized custody determinations to assess whether a person should be released. Since 2013, the agency has used a risk assessment tool that considers factors like a person's family ties, connections to the community, time in the country, blah, 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 just like I said. Now, it offered one recommendation after it was put into this risk assessment computer program: no bond. Every time you would put in the information, it would come back, no bond, and the immigration officer said, okay, sorry, no bond.
Wow.
Well, the result was a plummeting level of release for people considered low risk by the federal government. Now, groups said in March 2020 lawsuit, there was a lawsuit started in March 2020, that while ICE released 47% of the people in the category from 2013 to 2017, the number dropped to 4% from 2017 to 2020. Who was the president between 2017 and 2020?
The pumpkin.
It was the pumpkin. How did all of a sudden the computer program, the analytical program to determine whether or not you could get bond change from 47% to 4%? Seemed very odd even to the layman, right?
Very suspicious.
So there was this lawsuit by the New York Civil Liberties Union. They were also joined by the Bronx Defender's Office.
It's horrible.
And there is now a settlement that Immigration and Customs Enforcement will get rid of that analytical program that the Trump administration put in. They're going to go back to the old program where at least 47% of the people were released on bond who had low risk to the community, low risk of not showing up. If you have relief from removal, you're married to a U.S. citizen. You've been here for a long period of time. You have family that would have hardships if you were deported. Those are people who want to show up to court
Right.
to clear their name and get their green card and not run.
Right.
The settlement says that requires that all immigration officers complete documentation reflecting their individual assessments of each individual person, and each immigration officer must go through new training on the terms of the settlement. So now we are expecting, at least in New York City, that people who are detained by ICE will be able to get bond without having to sit in jail for months and months and months waiting for a bond redetermination by an immigration judge. So that's some good news.
Yeah.
And this morning, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky gave a graphic account of the situation on the ground to the United Nations Security Council today, claiming Russians killed civilians in Bucha. We talked about that yesterday. For pleasure.
Wow.
Killed them for pleasure. Earlier, he warned worse atrocities may emerge amid the ongoing retreat of Russian forces around Kiev. You're going to see worse atrocities in Mariupol. We're going to talk about Mariupol in a little bit. An increasing number of leaders are accusing Russian forces of committing war crimes. President Biden included said it's a war crime, that President Vladimir Putin should be charged with war crime. Ukrainian President Zelensky told the United Nations Security Council he expects Russians are going to blame everyone but themselves, just like we talked yesterday, right? What did we say yesterday? The playbook of every authoritarian government.
Sounds like something Trump did.
Right, exactly. Every authoritarian government it's a lie, it's a fake, it's something else. But in this particular case, there's satellite photographs. There are drones photographs showing what Russians were doing. There's satellites in the air now that could zoom down to very granular, specific incidences of what the Ukrainians are complaining the Russians are doing, which is killing helpless, defenseless civilians. He said, speaking through a translator via video conference, they will say there are various versions, different versions. It's impossible to establish which one of those versions is true. But Zelensky said there is conclusive evidence that there's satellite images that show what really happened in the attacks on Bucha. Zelensky cast doubt whether he would ever meet or shake hands with Vladimir Putin after what the Russians are doing to Ukraine.
I wouldn't either.
Addressing a virtual press briefing, the Office of the United Nations High Commission on Human Rights spokesperson Liz Throssell reiterated the United Nations horror at images that have emerged showing civilian bodies strewn across the streets of the town located northwest of Kiev. And one of the things that Zelensky said, if the United Nations' number one reason for being in existence is to further peace, prevent conflict, and for anyone in the United Nations to stay on the sidelines, to say, no, this is not happening, we're going to let Russia do this, what is the purpose of the United Nations? And I have to say, I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
If we have a international body whose sole purpose is to prevent war, prevent aggression, to not side with a country that does this to their neighboring country, and to sit there and say, sorry, we're not gonna say anything, we're not gonna stand up, we're not gonna do anything. What's the purpose of the United Nations? Why do we even have it? Why do we even have international law? Why, Yo-Yo? Why? Because I can't come up with a reason.
I can't either.
Today, Mayor Vadim Bochenko, the mayor of the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol, said in a televised that when the Russians leave Mariupol, if you think what happened in Bucha was bad, wait till you see what happened in Mariupol. He said in a televised briefing that they're on the brink of a humanitarian catastrophe. No lights, no water, no food, no medicine, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, not for 3 weeks, but for over a month. There are over 100,000 civilians in the city of Mariupol, have nothing to do with this war. It's just where they live. They have no lights, no water, no food, no medicine for 1 month, and have lived through bombing after bombing after bombing after bombing. Now, 90,000 people have managed to escape Mariupol, but there's still 100,000 people still trapped there. And today it was announced that aid workers from the International Committee of the Red Cross were detained by Russian authorities trying to get into Mariupol to deliver food, water, and medicine. Now, why is Mariupol so important? Because this is going to come out, Mariupol is going to come out as you think there was a humanitarian disaster, you think there was war crimes in Bucha. Wait till the news comes out from Mariupol. We haven't seen it yet. Now, Mariupol is important because if you remember, in 2014, Russia took over Crimea from Ukraine. Nobody did anything. The world let it happen, which is what emboldened Putin to do this. And Mariupol is the city that connects Crimea to the Donbas region. The Donbas region is very ethnic Russian, part of Ukraine. That is the area that Vladimir Putin said that there are Nazis killing Russians, which was his reason for entering Ukraine in the first place. They want to connect Mariupol to the Donbas region. They want to be able to separate Ukraine into two countries, just like North Korea and South Korea, with Russia dominating the eastern part of Ukraine. Mariupol, 90% of the city, they claim, is destroyed. And it's the biggest, by the way, it's the biggest seaport, second biggest seaport, or it's the biggest seaport in the Azov Sea. It's their second biggest seaport in all of Ukraine. Odessa's the biggest. Terrible what's going on there.
Yeah.
What else is happening? Where's the rest of my cards here? Is that all my cards? Can't be. That's all my cards. Can't be. Did I lose my cards somewhere? Ah, here. I'm sorry. I lost half my cards. I'm back.
All right. They were you. You didn't lose them. You had them.
I just kept throwing them down. Now, according to Joe Biden, he is going to be announcing more sanctions. Sanctions aren't going to do anything. I mean, in the long run, it's going to do something. But in the short run, Putin keeps doing this.
Keep doing it, yeah.
All right, sanctions aren't stopping him. At what point, Jonathan, if we say Russia could threaten and kill 100,000 people in the city, at what point does, in Mariupol, because that's what's happening right now, and that's just one city in Ukraine where there's many more. And we've already seen Russia indiscriminately kill civilians in the suburbs of Kiev. We've seen reports of Russian troops raping women, cutting people's tongues out because they were trying to threaten, where are the ammunition? Savage stuff. And now, who knows what's happening in this city where there's 100,000 people.
Right.
And by the way, I'm not saying this is the Russian people, because I think the Russian people are being duped. They're being lied to. They are being lied to by their government.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe if the Russian people really knew what was going on,
they wouldn't be supporting it. I don't think so.
Yeah. Boris Johnson gave a speech today. He's the Prime Minister of the UK. And he gave a speech in Russian. I didn't know Boris Johnson could speak Russian. And he gave a speech in Russian, and it was directed to the Russian people. And he said, you're not seeing the real news. Please get a VPN, because Russia's blocking all Western news from coming into Russia. Get a VPN and watch what's going on. That's what Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, told Russian people. Meanwhile, there's 100,000 It's 100,000 people being starved to death. Who knows what's going on inside the city with the Russian troops in there? At what point does the world say, are we going to allow 100,000 people to die?
I've asked that question a long time ago.
I mean, how many are we going to allow 100,000 people in Mariupol to die? And who knows how many other cities this is happening?
I literally asked that question like when we first started. I was like, so at what point do we? Because we know that they're going to end up. They're going to keep on doing this until they get it.
How much suffering are we going to allow people to have before the world says and does something? You know, you don't want to have World War III with a nuclear weapon. But I've been thinking about this. If United States and NATO says we don't want to go again, I'm not saying we should, by the way, because it could be World War III. We're putting Americans at risk now to make a much wider war. I'm not saying we should do it. And I don't believe we should do it. So I don't know if there's an answer. But my concern for the future is this. If we say, as a nation, the United States of America, NATO, we don't want to go against Russia because we don't want the threat. They have nuclear weapons. We don't want a threat of a nuclear war. What does that say to all the other authoritarian leaders out there? You know what it says? Let me get a nuclear weapon, and I can do whatever the hell I want. Because the world will be scared to do anything against me. So here we are in a situation, because trust me, you don't think every authoritarian leader around the world is saying, wow, Western Europe, all of NATO, the largest military, the most best financed military in the world, they're scared to do anything against Russia that has what appears to be a military that can't even go up against the Ukraine, which is a small little country, because they're scared of a nuclear weapon, of a nuclear war. Well, then any small country can do that, get a nuclear weapon. And now I'm free to do whatever I want to my people, and I'm free to do whatever I want to my neighbors. So nobody thinks about that, what happens in the future. And I'm not saying we should go and defend Ukraine or go in and have World War III. Nobody wants that.
Right.
I'm just saying I think about that. And in coronavirus, the Senate finally made a bipartisan deal to fund an additional $10 billion for COVID assistance for the year 2022. There was originally supposed to be a $15 billion deal. $5 billion came off the budget for COVID relief. You know where the $5 billion came off of?
Where?
No vaccines for international countries that can't afford their own vaccines.
Oh.
Sorry, United States isn't going to pay for your vaccine. Doesn't really matter. And it's so short-sighted. Even if you say, I don't want to be a humanitarian. Okay? Even if you say, you know what, I don't want to be a humanitarian. United States is not business of being a humanitarian. We don't care if somebody dies of COVID in another country. The more people who get a vaccine, the quicker this is over. It is extraordinarily short. And by the way, I don't want to see anyone die. So for $5 billion, we spend so much money on everything.
Oh, right.
Come on, give people vaccines. It's so cheap to do. You can vaccinate hundreds of millions of people.
I agree.
Okay, it's so short-sighted. It just keeps the pandemic going. And you know who else gets left out of pandemic relief? There's no more free vaccinations. So your insurance company has to pay for it, or you got to pay for it.
Oh.
But the United States government will no longer pay for free vaccinations.
That wouldn't be smart.
That's not smart either. But that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, we have any tea?
Yeah, Don Harriet said the tea getting cold.
The tea's getting cold, right? Don Harriet's like,
get to the
tea already.
Hey.
Hello, Jeremy J. Rhymes.
Hello.
We got a lot to talk about at tea here, Yo-Yo.
So much.
So much. What do you got today?
Raspberry pomegranate.
Oh.
I was scared Jay Rhymes was going to come in and smack me. You know,
as long as you don't talk about his wife.
I'm scared to even say he gave a bad rhyme. Leave my rhymes out of your mouth. Boom, boom, boom.
As long as you don't talk. He's still rhyming.
Yeah, I mean, you know, imagine you got to be like, you know, scared like a comedian now. Like everyone's going to come and.
Listen.
You know, when we won the Webbies, and we're going to talk about it in a second. We didn't win excuse me. We were honored in the Webbies. Excuse me. We did not win.
Yeah,
we just got yelled at.
Get the facts.
I just got yelled at. We won an honor at the Webbies. We don't get to go to the ceremony because only the top 5. We're top 7 or top 9 in the other category. Get to go to the ceremony. I was going to write the Webbies and say, hey, if you invite us, I promise not to go on stage and hit anybody.
Yeah, don't say that.
So anyway, congratulations to us, Yo-Yo.
Yes.
Yes, we were recognized in the 26th Annual Webby Awards in 2 categories. In news and politics. Not bad, right, for an immigration show?
Not bad.
We were in this category where the 5 people who were nominated for the award was the overview from NBC Universal, Ian's Quick Take from G0 Media, the Damage Report, which is the Young Turks, Insider News on YouTube channel from Insider Company, and Deep Dive from TRT World. And the 2 honorees were Al Jazeera and Bradshaw Live.
Nice.
All huge media companies
Yeah.
that put on
That's amazing.
a news show, an entertainment show with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to put on a show.
Yeah.
And here we are, our small little group of less than 10 people, right? I'm a lawyer during day. Yo-Yo's arguing with Con Ed during the day. We show up and we do our show.
Yep. It's pretty big.
I think it's pretty good.
Big.
Al Jazeera has a few more people than us, I would say.
Yeah.
NBC Universal, I would say, has a few more people than us.
Agreed.
So congratulations to the crew and squad on that. And we're also honored, which is very nice, in diversity and inclusion. And that was a very important thing when we started our show. And I was converting this show from a radio show to a digital show. Call it a TV show, but it's a digital show. What was extraordinarily important to me is that we did make sure that we were inclusive of everybody, that we were about diversity, that we were about including people and not excluding anybody. That was very, very important to me. So actually I feel good. I'm good about both.
Yes.
But I feel very good that we were at least honored for that and recognized for that. In this category, the nominees were Feminist Economics for the Institute for New Economic Thinking, the Changemakers by the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, Introducing Always Black by Penguin Random House, Made by Her, which is on Hulu, and Latinos Are Essential, which is on PBS. The honorees included Bradshaw Live, Black in Focus from Bloomberg News, Gennaro 101 on Amazon, and A Beautiful Resistance from the Boston Globe.
Pretty awesome.
So pretty good company.
Yeah.
Right? All of them much bigger companies than us, but very good company. So congratulations to the squad. Congratulations to them behind me.
Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations to you, Yo-Yo. I couldn't do it without you.
And congratulations to you.
And
the Brad and Bradshaw Live.
Yes. Yes. I couldn't do it without myself either. And by the way, some other nominees in other categories include Billie Eilish, Seth Rogen, Megan Thee Stallion, Olivia Rodrigo, Rihanna, Jimmy Fallon.
Nice.
So we are very proud to be recognized in such a competitive field, along with such amazing talent. And the awards are going to be Monday, May 16th. We are not going to win an award, but we were certainly very close.
We're honored.
And we were honored.
That's
that's
great.
And that's very good. And good luck to everybody else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And by the way, President, did you check out the Grammys?
I did.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched. We missed the first hour.
Did you see President Zelensky give his speech?
Yes.
Yes. He gave a speech at the Grammy Awards. He wanted to give a speech also at the Academy Awards. Academy Awards didn't allow him to give a speech there. They didn't want to make it political. Yet it became very political. Right. Quite ironic, right? So President Zelensky offered a speech. He began with the war. What's more opposite than music? The silence of ruined cities and killed people. Our children drew swooping rockets, not shooting stars. Over 400 children have been injured. 153 children have died. And we're never going to see their drawings. He added that our musicians wear body armor instead of tuxedos. I see videos on Instagram of musicians in the Ukraine playing in bombed out cities in the square. They sing to the wounded in hospitals. The music will break through anyway, to live, to love, to sound. And then eventually peace will come to all our cities the war is destroying. I have a dream of everyone living and free like you on the Grammy stage. It's very touching.
Yeah.
He's very good orator.
Yes.
Right. He's very
And
good
I was
at giving a
wondering, and I
speech.
didn't know that he was in the entertainment industry before. Because
Yes.
I remember
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
an
there's
actor.
something about him that gives that.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
an
you guys told
actor.
me.
He's an actor. Now the speech was followed by a performance of Free by John Legend, who was joined by Ukrainian artists Mika Newton, Liba Yakhmuchuk, and Susanna Egidin. John Baptiste won 5 Grammys, including Album of the Year for We Are.
Which was huge for him.
You like that?
That was huge for him.
Silk Sonic won Record of the
He used to perform on the
Song of the
train.
Year. What?
He used to perform like on the train. And
Yeah?
stuff. Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah. He has an amazing story.
Really? I didn't know that.
This one.
Yeah, I know who he is, but I didn't know he
He
played.
He used to just perform on the steps.
So he was on the
subway.
7. He was on the 7.
I don't know where.
which line was he
I
on?
don't know where, but he came from a long way.
Wow, Olivia Rodrigo walked. I like stories like that. Olivia Rodrigo walked away with Best New Artist. Lenny Kravitz and Her, with Travis Barker on the drums, performed a rendition of Are You Going to Go My Way?
That was really dope.
Yeah. I was just asking you before. I just saw something. Travis Barker, there's like a rumor that he married one of the Courtney.
I wouldn't know.
You don't know.
I wouldn't know.
And Kanye, he was asked not to show up.
Yeah.
So that's what you said when you first, at the beginning of the show, you said, I'm having a beef with Kanye. I go, you're having a beef with Kanye? Why is everyone having a beef with Kanye now?
I'll leave that up to Harriet Tubman and stuff.
He was asked not to show up. And even his reps said the reason why he was asked not to show up was because of his concerning online behavior.
Yeah, it was a post that he made about Trevor Noah, and since Trevor Noah was the host,
they didn't want any Will Smith, Chris Rock situation again.
Yeah, and that was prior to that. It was before that.
Really?
It was before. Yeah, it was before that. And
they had some premonition then maybe.
I guess. And so Kanye. I mean, you get your that's the consequences for.
Right, and he dropped out of Coachella, Kanye too. Maybe he's going for some therapy. You think?
I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't know if he's there yet.
I don't know. Okay, and we got to talk about Will Smith, Chris Rock. All right, we all know what happened. Let's talk about the Oscars first. Okay, he won. By the way, Will Smith, he won Best Actor for King Richard. I didn't see the movie yet, but I heard it was really good. I heard it was really good.
Really good.
Yeah. Tony Kotzer became the first deaf male actor to win for Best Supporting Actor in Coda. By the way, I trust Jilly's movie reviews. She told me her and her husband watched Coda last weekend, and it was fabulous.
Oh, I actually want to see that too after.
And it also won Coda won Best Movie. It was an Apple Plus film. What's with Apple? They make the best phones, the best movie. they make the best everything. It's crazy, Apple, right?
I don't see Android out there doing that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that Apple just does everything the best?
Let me not get beat up by the Android users. Let me not get beat up.
All right, so let's get to Slapgate.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Very few people were talking about who won what award at the right.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally overshadowed everything. And the whole idea behind the award ceremony is to promote movies.
Yeah.
No movie was promoted because of this.
Yeah.
No movie was promoted because of Slapgate.
Yeah.
Is that what they're calling it?
I guess so. I just saw that. That's the first time
I never heard of Slapgate before, but I see it on my cards.
Yeah.
Now, Smith hit Chris Rock after he made a joke about the actor's wife, and a G.I. Jane sequel referencing Jada Pinkett Smith's bald head. And the actress Demi Moore appeared in a 97 movie with a shaved head in the regular G.I. Jane. By the way, she was very pretty in that movie.
Yes.
Just as a side. Rock said, Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it, all right? And you know what? It's a stupid joke.
Yeah.
Wasn't even funny. It was actually a throwaway joke.
Yeah.
All right, stupid joke.
It was very stupid.
It was a stupid joke. Nobody even got it. I mean, how many people saw G.I. Jane in the first place? G.I. Jane...
I mean, it was pretty famous back then.
You think so?
Yeah, it was pretty famous. I mean,
Stupid
we all
joke.
know about Demi Moore shaving her head, for that. So
Now, Smith appeared to laugh at first, but then Jada Pinkett Smith rolled her eyes, changed Smith's demeanor. Smith walked up on stage. Chris Rock had his hands behind his back.
sucker punched him.
Well, he with an open hand. It wasn't a punch, it was a slap.
Sucker slapped.
Sucker slapped him.
And he did that because I hear that, if you hit somebody with a closed fist, that's like, it's worse than than open-handed.
Well, I think getting slapped doesn't hurt as much as...
Right, but like law in the law, there's something I heard. I don't know if it's true, but if you hit with a closed fist rather than an open hand,
I don't think Will Smith was thinking about the law at that moment.
True.
Right. I don't think he's saying, well, if I hit him with an open fist, I'll get a misdemeanor. But if I hit him with I don't think that was.
Slap him.
I don't think. I will tell you this, and I told you this off the air. You don't need Chris Rock to press charges against Will Smith.
Right.
That's an assault.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was seen in front of millions of people.
1 billion people saw it, they can. Excuse me, sir. Did you watch the Academy Awards? Yes. Did you see Will Smith slap Chris Rock? Yes. Case closed. It's an assault. We can get 1 billion witnesses to come and testify against Will Smith, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't need. So the LAPD said, "Oh, we're waiting for Chris Rock to file a report." I wish I had the bullshit buzzer on that one.
My main thing is, I
just want to talk about the law first, okay? And then you can tell me the main thing.
I just want to know about the squad because we got tea time is not only with us, it's also with the squad, and this is a big thing that happened. So I do want to know from the squad. Are you Team Will, Team Chris? And let us know why in the comments, because that's like the main reason we do this, so we could all like talk about this situation. So I want to know what you guys think, and I already see some of you guys throwing it in and giving some really good points. So I want everybody to chime in as well.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So from a legal standpoint, they don't need Chris Rock to file a complaint. Just go arrest the guy. They got 1 billion people who witnessed an assault.
Right.
1 billion people. So, no, I didn't do it. Wasn't me. No. What's he going to say? Right?
Yeah, he can't say that.
Can't say that. So, he's lucky he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because any other black man...
Oh, yeah. That would have been a wrap.
It would have been a wrap. Done. Wouldn't even made it back to his seat. Right? Will Smith got to sit down, and everyone's shocked, the heck happened here?
Right.
Nobody did anything.
Yeah.
Then he won his award and he got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Which is quite hypocritical, I think, of Hollywood.
Yeah.
To give him a stand. I just find it extraordinarily hypocritical.
Hollywood is hypocritical,
It
so
is.
it's not surprising.
It is. Yeah.
It's not surprising at all.
And a few days later, as at first nobody knew how to react, but there are people who are definitely pro Will Smith still, but I would say a majority of people have kind of rallied around the fact that what he did was wrong. And now people in Hollywood, the same people who were giving him standing ovations, coming back, oh, that was wrong, shouldn't have done it. I find it so hypocritical with Hollywood that they have to wait to see what everybody's opinion is before they form their own opinion.
Yeah.
He's now been asked to resign from the Academy Awards.
He resigned.
He resigned because he was gonna get thrown out anyway.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means he can't enjoy the benefits that members are afforded, including access to screeners for films, in consideration, the ability to vote for potential nominees. His invitation to attend future Academy Awards and related events remains to be seen. He could still be up for an award, but I doubt the Academy would ever let him win an award again or even be nominated. What do you think? Certainly not in the near future.
I definitely think it will affect their decision to allow him to.
And what do you think? Do you think he's going to turn into like Mel Gibson, where, remember Mel Gibson was drunk at a, for those who don't know, Mel Gibson got arrested, Braveheart. He got arrested like a decade ago. He was drunk at a drinking and driving, and when he got pulled over, there was an audio of him making anti-Semitic comments that that the Jews control Hollywood and Jews control the world and blah, blah, blah. And he got blackballed by Hollywood for a decade, just starting to make a comeback now. Do you think it's going to affect his career?
Will Smith doesn't need to get blackballed because he has a huge production company. They can make their own movies. He still has fans. He's still very much so loved
I was just
around the
asking.
world.
I don't,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He has a one up on what Mel Gibson had. He didn't have his own
production company.
billion dollar, however much it's worth, dollar production company. So Will Smith is going to be okay. It's just going to always, my thing is Chris Rock you're always going to think about that slap. Like, I got slapped. And I think that is more damage than...
For Chris Rock.
Yeah. I think that's way more damage than Will Smith not getting work, because he's going to still get work. But Chris Rock, he's always going to be known as the guy that got slapped on stage forever.
And Will Smith is going to be known as the guy who couldn't control his emotions.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, but Will could still make movies.
I thought Chris Rock really acted like a gentleman. He could have turned around and hit Will Smith back and made this a whole fiasco.
I also think that Chris Rock isn't that type of person.
Right, so I said he acted like a gentleman. And by the way, if you think it was, instead of Chris Rock, it was Dwayne The Rock.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, giving an award, you think Will Smith is coming up and slapping Dwayne The Rock?
No. And if he is, I don't think he's going to sit back down that easy.
Right. So I mean, Will Smith came and hit a smaller guy.
Yeah, so like even with Chris Rock's brother Tony Rock, who's another comedian, he's a little more hood than Chris Rock,
right.
And Tony Rock was like, "Come see me," So it would have been a different ending if that was Tony Rock.
Right. Meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein and Roman Polanski, both received Academy Awards. Both are accused or convicted of rape. They did not lose their Academy Award. That's a lot worse than.
It's a lot worse than
anything
a slap.
Will Smith did.
Between guys that have known each other for over 25 years. This is like a brotherly feud. It was nasty. It was disgusting, but they've known each other. And I personally think the reason why he was super mad is that he had a conversation with Chris Rock before, because he did speak about his wife in 2016.
He had no right to get up there. And yeah.
Not saying he did.
Okay. Right.
So I'm saying that I feel like that's the reason why he, felt the need to do that, because it's like, bruh, I done told you, we've known each other for this long. You know my family, I know yours, but does not justify it. He could have made Chris Rock look really, really dumb by just like simply like not laughing or saying, "Don't talk about my wife."
Right.
He could have heckled right back, and
right.
People do that, but like to come up and assault somebody is not right.
Meanwhile, did you see what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's a famous basketball player, he wrote? I'm quoting, "With a single petulant blow, Smith advocated violence, diminished women, insulted the entertainment industry, and perpetrated stereotypes about the black community. Hollywood awards shows are traditionally a venue where much worse things have been said about celebrities as a means of downplaying the fact that it's basically a gathering of multimillionaires trying to sell movies and make more money."
That's what it is.
The Smiths could have reacted by politely laughing along with the joke, by glowering angrily at Chris Rock.
Like I said.
Instead, Smith got up in front of the industry peers, millions of people around the world, hit another man, then returned to his seat to bellow, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth," twice. Tiffany Haddish, she's pro-Will.
Yes.
She said, "For me, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen because it made me believe that there's still men out there that love and care about their women and their wives." But Abdul-Jabbar said he feels it's the opposite. He said if Rock had physically attacked Jada, Smith's intervention would have been welcome, for sure. But by hitting Chris Rock, Will Smith announced that his wife was incapable of defending herself against words. Pinkett Smith seems like a very capable, tough, smart woman who can take care of herself. This woman does not need men to defend her. That's basically what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And by the way, she has her own show.
Right.
She can say whatever she wants on her show.
Yeah.
Okay, and get a lot. Will Smith has 50 billion people on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't have to say. He just has to make an
That's what I'm
Instagram
saying.
post.
He could have really. He could have done it to where, like, you know, what he wanted was Chris Rock to not look good for that joke. So he could have easily done that other ways without assaulting him.
And what do you think of this? This is what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said. He said, young boys, especially black boys, watching their movie idol not just hit another man over a joke, but then justify it as him being a superhero-like protector, are now much more prone to follow in his childish footsteps. Perhaps the saddest confirmation of this is the tweet from Smith's child, Jaden, and that's how we do it. What do you think of that?
I mean, I agree with them. You know, I think that was my issue when I sat back, because at first I was Team Will. Not gonna lie, I was Team Will.
You were the first that we were having a debate.
Yeah, right, and I still stand by why I was like that, because I react off of my emotions, and that's just who I am. So I understand why he felt the need. Sometimes I'm not in my right mind, and I might do something that I will regret. So the fact that we regret it, he had to put out an apology. That right there just confirms why it was wrong. So I say it was wrong. But my thing is, I agree with what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said there. A lot of people kept on saying, oh, this is setting us back. This is making us look bad in front of the Oscars. I said, F the Oscars, because Hattie McDaniel, the first black woman who won an Oscar, wasn't even allowed to come sit inside that room. So I don't care about the Oscars. I don't care about the classiness of it, because it's not classy. It doesn't have the history of being classy. It was not there for us. So I don't care about that. I care about how it affects our community, the young boys that are going to be watching this, because I see it down the street walking in Harlem. They're playing around, slapping, say, you just got Will slapped. You know, it's not a joke. It's not good. That's not a good thing.
What about in the club? You know, I've been seing now that they made it into a song.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that right there, just, you know, it's not good for the youth. It's not good for the community, especially when you look up to these people. So it hurts us. It hurts us.
And by the way, Dawn Harriet, Yo-Yo would never hit me.
I would never
hit me.
Ever.
Maybe throw
but
some,
you also would never disrespect me. See, we have respect for each other.
But maybe you throw some tea in my face.
No, would never. Unless it's a reality show and like we got paid for that.
Now let me ask you this before we go to our meat and potatoes. One last thing that Kareem Abdul, curious about your opinion on this. He said the black community took a hit from Will Smith. One of the main talking points from those supporting the systemic racism in America is characterizing blacks as more prone to violence, less able to control their emotions. In fact, Fox News host Jeanine Pirro wasted no time going full metal jacket racist by declaring the Oscars are not the hood.
Yeah, so with that, like I said, I personally don't care about what white people think about us, because these are also the same people who had ancestors that used to lynch black people and bring their kids out for, that was entertainment.
Well, not all. Not my ancestors weren't even here.
But when I say this, obviously I don't mean everybody.
So
I have some of the bestest friends that are white people. If that was their family and that's what they believed, then obviously I wouldn't be. But that's what I'm saying. We're not. That's not what we should be worried about. What we need to start worrying about is within our community, how it's going to affect us within our community. Of course, now, racist people or even people who don't want to show they're racist, they're going to use that as ammo, Yeah, so of course she's going to take it right away, that reporter, and start talking about it and call the Oscars ghetto and say, it's unfortunate too because it was produced by two black HBCU, Will Packer. Will Packer graduated from FAMU. That was a huge thing. The fact that he produced this Oscars and this was the first time he did that. And Will Smith took it away from there, took away all of the shine and stuff from that. So I'm not worried about what white people think about this. I'm worried about how we react within our community and how we're going to learn from this. Me personally.
Aniki is Team Chris. Danny Boy's Team Will. Jasmine Campbell, Team Will. People taking both sides.
Yeah. That's the thing.
CM, Team Will.
The people that are Team Will, I don't say nothing against y'all because, like I said, I was all the way 100% Team Will.
Brave Girl, Team Chris. Will is crazy. He needs mental health care. And let me see what's on YouTube. Carol, it's not a great example for young people, for real.
Not.
So I guess she's Team Chris. And Shireen Maxwell, what Will did was wrong. I think Rock knew his temperament and knew he would react in that way. He expressed his dislike before, yet Rock continued. Dawn Harriet said he should have Snoop Dogged him back.
See, but then, then the whole thing would have been off. It's, so I'm happy that Chris, and I personally don't like Chris Rock. I don't find him funny.
I think Chris Rock's funny.
I don't like him.
I always thought Chris Rock was funny. That's funny.
Something about him just rubs me the wrong way.
I didn't think he was funny in that joke.
Yeah,
it wasn't a funny joke, but I liked Chris Rock.
And then the fact that I read that it wasn't even him that wrote the joke. It was, the Academy, their writers, and also he did not know that she had alopecia. So. I took that into consideration as well.
What do you think of people who say, well, if she's so concerned about her alopecia, it's not a life-threatening disease?
Nobody can say that.
Okay,
as a black woman,
one second.
When
let me
you
finish.
lose your hair.
Let me finish. She could wear a wig.
No.
Then shave her head. I'm just telling you what people are saying.
That's dumb.
Why? Why is that dumb?
Because, first of all, if you don't have a disease that you're talking about, you should have no say-so. If you're not a black woman who has already had trouble with being accepted for your hair and you finally find that peace and are accepted for the course of your hair, nobody can say that. And then when it starts falling out, some women, they are their hair. That brings their femininity. And the fact that she is able to cut it off and feel comfortable about it, finally, and then somebody comes out and talks mess about it in front of millions of people.
But she didn't feel comfortable about it. In the end, if she felt comfortable about it, she wouldn't have rolled her eyes. I think she didn't feel comfortable about it.
That's what I'm saying. No, she's comfortable, and she's now she's now at a place where it's like, I shaved it. I am comfortable, but she
doesn't feel comfortable with it yet.
Which is why nobody can say, oh, you can always throw a wig on. Are you serious? That's disgusting.
Yeah,
that's disgusting to say.
All right. I can't disagree with you. I was just seeing what people were saying.
That's disgusting to say.
Yeah. All right, let's go to TikTok. In this edition of TikTok Time, we could go on forever.
Right, we can.
Literally, it's 7:35.
Come on.
1 hour talking about this. All right, in this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about how to. There's really it's so many issues.
Right.
So many issues there. I mean, in so many levels, it's like an onion. And you keep peeling it away, and it's just more and more. That one slap is so many issues.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.